contact centers. These are the call centers. 61% are still the call centers. But the other segments are fast progressing. Back office is 19%, software is 9%, transcription is 5%, engineering is 3%, and animation is 2%. 2% may sound like a very small item, small figure, but I understand that almost at least 50% of the animated movies that you are watching here in the Philippines, produced supposedly in the United States, are made here in the Philippines. Finding Nemo, I understand 50% of the animation there was done here in the Philippines. Of course, Finding Nemo is one of the more popular animated movies of all time. What about the breakdown by revenue? Again, of course, his contact center would be breakdown by revenue. The next chart, please. No, the same chart. Contact center. Please go back to the. Okay. Contact center is 68%. Back office is 14%. Software is 10%. Engineering is 4%. Transcription is 3%. Animation is 2%. But I think the most impressive figure would be how we compare with the other BPO countries. May I present now the share by country. Number 1 is India with 37%. Number 2 is Canada with 27%. And that is not surprising because that is the neighbor of the United States and they are able to corner a lot of these BPO contracts. But number 3, and a very good number 3 at that, is the Philippines with 15%. We are ahead of Ireland, Mexico, Central and Eastern Europe, China, and all the others. And growing at that. So my projection is that, especially if we're going to really focus on the ICT, by creating a line department, we can even make this a bigger entity and make it a bigger winner as far as the Philippine economy is concerned. Now let me talk of an IT item which is of interest to Drex and I. This is the Facebook. There are now, this is probably one of the most mind-boggling figure as far as the IT is concerned. There are now more than 500 million Facebookers all over the world. Can you imagine a little, almost close to 10% of the world population is wired to Facebook. The US is number 1, and the Philippines is number 7 in the entire world. Facebook with a membership of 15 million, maybe more, because the figures seem to contradict. The 15 million is a low figure. It can be as high as 16 million. And if you look at the breakdown, next item please, the breakdown, it's, some people might think that Facebooking is a major activity of the opposite sex. But you will see that it is almost equal in the Philippines. The male population is just a little behind the female population in Facebooking. And in terms of generation, of course, this is where we can see that there is a generation gap as far as Facebooking is concerned. With an overwhelming majority 18 to 24 years old, not 65 plus, same color, no. It's not 60, it's 18 to 24. So please, you're not included here. 18 to 24 comprise the majority of the Facebookers. But, well, some of you are there in that very thin, narrow line of 65 plus. Maybe you should work a little harder so that we can widen that segment for 65 plus and above, or even for the 55 and 64. Now, here are additional figures that should be of interest. Again, the Philippines is number 7, but look at the growth rate. The Philippines is growing over the past week. This is the figure that I got. Over the past, this was August 24, 2010, a very updated figure, growing by 6% in just 1 week. Can you imagine anything that grows at 6% over 1 week? Russia is growing by 16% in 1 week, Nicaragua by 14%, etc., etc. But the next figure will show you how fast we really grew. Because last year, in Facebook, we only had a little over 1 million. This was as of the end of March 2009. But by March 2010, it jumped to 11.5 billion, or a growth rate of 1,027%. If we can only translate this in GDP, we can do a lot of things together. But probably this is the role that the DICT can do, translate these impressive figures as contributions to our gross domestic product, so that Mike Barella here can maybe have a much bigger organization. RP ranks second in Facebook users in Asia, second Indonesia. Now let me talk about trends in the ICT. ICT is a channel for a free and empowered media. It used to be that those who could shout the loudest were the only ones who were heard. Traditional media is noisy and brash, but subject to limitations. When I speak of traditional media, print, radio, and television. And sometimes because of this, facts are mangled and the truth comes out a little distorted. I think we're all very familiar with that, especially the public figures in this room. And lies have a way of running out of steam if they keep coming from the same source, meaning the traditional media, especially the giant media. In the presence of so many media channels, both old and new, serve to protect the truth and our freedom of expression. But what are the trends lately? Newspaper circulation is in a steep decline, while readership of online newspapers and the resultant online advertising spend have gone up significantly. In fact, most of my newspaper reading is online. I hardly read hard copy anymore. In 10 years' time, people will not be getting their news or their entertainment from the television. Mass media is now being replaced by social media. And I'll show you some trends that are really food for thought for us who would like to project what is in store for